Hi, I'm Martin. In this short vlog I consider why the politics of development is critical to understanding and responding to global development issues. My standpoint, having lived exclusively in a Western democracy, is about how together people make decisions which impact everyone, the rules we live by and how resources are deployed, the social protections we afford one another. I'm going to use an acronym I've developed. SPADE. Notice the wordplay. I use this since my standpoint includes recognising that politics undertakes the spade work of development, the what, why, where, when and how of development. It is a crucial determinant of who decides, who gains, who doesn't, who has power and agency, and who is oppressed. It impacts at every level, magnitude and relationship. The S in SPADE stands for scaffolding, the framework of development. Politics sets the ideological and structural framework around which development takes place. This includes international institutions such as the World Bank, the IMF, or the discourse and text of agreements such as the Sustainable Development Goals. Politics determines how and who makes appointments to key posts within these organisations and the policies they follow, which in turn determines the nature and speed of development. For example, in the 1980s and 1990s, influential high-income countries were able to implement the Washington Consensus, imposing a specific political ideology on developing countries by tying international development loans to the pursuit of neoliberal policies, such as trade liberalisation, privatisation, etc. The P is for priorities. Which goals are set, how money is spent, who is to benefit, and who might be adversely impacted. A stands for approvals, the permissions and licensing of development activities. Politics determines what is approved or refused. I is for implementation, how development is done and by whom. Politics is central to the implementation of significant infrastructure projects, such as the state will determine how these are funded, partnerships formed and contracts awarded, and how the initiative is presented in the broader scope of its agenda. In each of these elements, power and agency play a crucial determining role. For example, Morocco's state prioritised clean energy and the energy needs of urban residents in Marrakesh, and arguably the financial interests of powerful actors, over the interests of Sahrawi living in the congested region of West Sahara, where the largest wind farm in Africa was built. The Sahrawi had little power or agency to influence decision-making or accrue benefits from the development. In Brazil, the Agricultural Ministry used its power and agency to validate organic cotton certification, thereby facilitating development by removing dependency on costly third-party contracts. Conversely, political decisions can prevent or stop activities such as logging in the Amazon rainforest. D stands for desire. Of all, this is arguably the key to development. Development will not happen if there is no commitment. The so-called developmental states of East Asia have shown that maintaining the determination to achieve development goals is critical for development in the national interest. The World Bank praised East Asia's remarkably successful development model, a combination of outward-oriented growth, human capital development, and sound economic governance. Political power was used to overcome opposition, prevent projects being hijacked by vested interests, and also to encourage and enable collaboration. Political desire was also demonstrated by the Finnish government through its Housing First initiative, established in 2007, which has reduced homelessness to almost zero. Importantly, understanding and responding to global development issues requires spade work, which at every step involves negotiation, contention, conflict resolution, and collaboration, as various actors and stakeholders seek to protect and pursue their own vested interests, even to the extent that the language used in official documents is fought over in order that they can be interpreted in ways which suit specific interests or audiences. Clearly, Spade highlights that development is not simply a challenge to be resolved with a technical solution, but deeply political, and highlights the challenges arising from people sharing the planet and living in community and caring, or not, for one another.